Hey there everyone, if you're watching the rebroadcast, welcome, thanks for watching. Hey Sammy Joe, if you're popping on live, please share this with your followers, share it on Twitter. Let's get some more people on here so we can share the info. I'm going to close this and turn it around on me for a second so I'm not letting all of the cold air. Welcome to my kitchen. Hey there. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Coach Carly. I'm a health and nutrition coach here in Portland, Oregon, so I focus on eating real whole foods, doing good, effective fitness, and just living a healthy life. So today I'm going to do a little tour of my freezer so you can see what I keep in there. I did a pantry scope the other day. You should be able to catch the replay on my Twitter feed. I keep that on the catch.me service. Hey Keto Power, yeah, thanks. So, part of my wet hair, I just showered. I've had a nice lazy Sunday. I hope everyone else is having a great Sunday too. Thanks for hopping on everybody, welcome. We're going to do a little tour of my freezer so you can see what sort of healthy foods I keep on hand. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. I'm going to switch this around now. So, let's start with the top drawer. I don't know how exciting any of this is going to be, but if you're new to paleo or just, want to know what kind of stuff I keep around, this is it. If I had a bigger freezer, I'd have more. How many meals do you prepare in advance? I tend to not like prep meals specifically for the freezer, but ignore the comments. I'm not ignoring the comments. But if I make like a big meal and I don't feel like we're going to finish it or if we're getting sick of it, then I'll put food in the freezer, but my boyfriend eats a lot, so I don't usually have that problem. Alright, so I'm going to try to make this quick so I'm not like killing all the frozen food in here. So, ice packs. First up, I have some bone broth. I ordered this online from US Wellness Meats. It's really good quality pasture-raised beef bone broth. And it came in a big like quart jug, and I just portioned it out into some single-serve containers and put those in the freezer so I can like defrost one at a time. These are great, for cooking, any recipe that calls for stock, for making soups, or you can just sip it, put it in a mug, warm it up with a little sea salt. It's really delicious, really good for gut health. It's full of like gelatin and things like that, which is really great for you, and minerals and things. It's made, bone broth is just a fancy term for stock. It's just made from leftover bones from the animal, and so it extracts a lot of those really great minerals and nutrients from the bones. Calcium, things like that, so it's really great for you. So that's a great thing to have and stock up in the freezer. If you ever order, just like open a quart container of stock that you get from the grocery store and you're not going to use it all in one recipe, pour the rest in a container and freeze it. I do that a lot for things like tomato sauce and stuff. And then I do have some limoncello. This was homemade by a friend's grandma, so a little bit of booze in here, some Patron tequila. I do like tequila, and it's okay to indulge every once in a while. Mostly up here I've got various nuts and seeds, so, ground flax, whole flax seeds. I've got some like slivered almonds, sunflower seeds. I keep these in my freezer because they're high in fats. Here's some pine nuts. And they can go rancid really quickly and get sort of like an off taste, and then they kind of lose their health benefits once the fat's gone bad. Here's some sesame seeds too. So I keep them in my freezer just so they stay fresh longer. They stay fresh in here a long time, and then I'm not wasting it. Seeds and stuff can be expensive. Back in the corner here I have some homemade pesto. I do a dairy-free pesto. This one's made with basil, garlic, walnuts, olive oil. And again, I keep that in my freezer because I might not go through a whole container of pesto before it goes bad, and this way I can like take a scoop out and just put in some eggs or something, or pull out the whole jar if I'm going to make a big pasta, spaghetti squash kind of thing with it. So I've got that too. I do have, if you guys are dairy-free, Kite Hill makes cheeses like the real way, like with cultures and aging processes, and they use almond milk to make them. So this is like a soft rind cheese, sort of like brie. It's not exactly like regular cheese, but it's a really good supplement. different alternative if you're dairy free. I can find this at Whole Foods, so look up their website and see if you can find it nearby. They make like this soft rind cheese, and they also make like a ricotta out of almonds, which is great for me. I'm actually allergic to cashews, so a lot of cheese alternatives I can't do because they're made from cashews. I do have a couple. Does anyone know Brittany Angel and her website? From Every Last Crumb. These are two, I know they look like poop right now, but these are two of her PMS brownies. I made these on Valentine's Day, and I froze a couple because we did not need to eat the whole pan of brownies. We did a pretty good job doing most of it, but I froze a couple for a rainy day emergency if we really want another treat. These are awesome. If you don't know Brittany Angel, she makes a lot of allergy-friendly paleo treats. Alright, so that's the top. Now, down here, got some fun stuff. Fruit, frozen fruit. I don't make a lot of smoothies. I've been doing more smoothies lately because I'm doing a SIBO diet and I can't have starches, so that's sort of been my carbs lately. But, the nice thing about fruit is that it's picked when it's ripe and in season and frozen, so it's a good cost-effective way to get berries, like in the winter and stuff. I do recommend if you're doing berries to get organic. These are some that I actually picked and froze. I do have some different gluten-free breads. I actually went to an Udi's. If you know Udi's gluten-free, I actually went to an Udi's like tasting event, and they sent me home with 3 loaves of bread and some hot dog buns. So they've been in the freezer ever since. They do still have grains in them, so I kind of try to avoid them generally. But if you are gluten-free and want some pretty good quality bread, I like Udi's. They're pretty great. New Cascadia is a local Portland company that does gluten-free too. If you're in Portland, they're awesome. I actually like them even better. I have a package of Capello's grain-free fettuccine. Hi, from Indonesia. Thanks for joining. I actually haven't tried this yet. I bought it because it was on sale, and then I stuck it in the freezer. So, I don't know. Has anyone tried Capello's? I'd love to hear if you have and what you think of it. Who's on here? Say hello. Like, I don't know who's watching. I like to get some interaction and some questions. So if you guys have any questions about paleo or nutrition or anything like that, just pop them up on the screen and ask, and let's get some more people on this scope too. Hey there. Thanks for joining. Oh, and thanks for the hearts. I always like hearts. I heard a really great analogy the other day that hearts are like tips, so you're leaving them in the tip jar. Hey, Skeptical. What's your name? Welcome. Yay, thanks for the hearts, guys. Okay, so lots of fruit, some gluten-free bread, and then this is my favorite area, the meat section. Hey, Donna. Thanks for joining. So, these give me an option, the food for reduce my weight. So, paleo diets are really great if you're dealing with weight loss. Just reducing that inflammation. I would definitely recommend going gluten-free. And then just trying to eat real whole foods. But if you want to email me, my email's in my profile. It's coachcarlysullivan@gmail.com. And you can send me an email. I'd be happy to talk to you. Love animal facts. Facts or fats? I like animal eating them. I like animals too. Okay, so here's my meat section. What I really recommend if you are, worried about costs when it comes to eating good quality meat, because they really recommend you're getting pasture-raised organic meat and things like that. Goose fat I've never eaten, but I'm sure it's delicious. I've had duck fat. I think I have some down in here somewhere. It's probably great. So I recommend going, first of all, to like a farmer's market and getting something local. Find like a local grass-fed farm and get meat from them. I think it's really great to support local sustainable farms that are raising their meat the right way. So I go to my local farmer's market here in the Portland area and we stock up on meat. If you're worried about cost, some great things like don't get steaks or anything big like that. That's just going to be so much more expensive. We really tend to get ground meat and ribs. So these are lamb ribs. I've got some beef short ribs. Yeah, hey Amber, oh thanks. I'm so glad you're on. So getting meat cuts like that are less expensive is a really great way to go. We're really lucky. We've got a place nearby. We get buffalo, we get yak, we get elk from them. They also do like alpaca, they do just straight up beef, they do lamb. But what's really cool is this red label that they do is that what they call their paleo grind, and they grind in some of the organ meats into the ground meat. And so it's a really awesome way to get those really good beneficial organ meats without really necessarily chewing down on a piece of liver, which might not be the most fun experience. So that's really great. So ground meat's a great way to go. These are some lamb ribs, a rack of lamb ribs. I cannot wait to eat those. And then we also get some really great, oh, look at that bacon. Pasture raised bacon. It's honey cured. The stuff is to die for. So that's kind of it. I mean, I've just got a bunch of meat down in here, some veggies, you know, chopped. Here's some chopped spinach. I do have a bag of that coveted cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's hiding down in here. You can find those, stock up, because they're popular and they sell out. I've got some like grated zucchini. So, you know, a lot of like little random things like this, if I just have like, you know, if you have a zucchini bush, plant, whatever, and you have like, you're swimming in zucchini, it's not meat. No, I do eat vegetables too. It's important to eat vegetables. Then, you know, shred it and stick it in the freezer, and you can make zucchini bread in the middle of winter or something if you want to. So, or you could zoodle it, you know, make zoodles and freeze them and then cook them later. So that's really it, guys. I'm going to close this up and finish this up just because my freezer's open. Oh, I do have a knob of ginger in here. That's another really great trick. If you buy ginger, peel it and stick it in your freezer, and then you can just grate it with a microplane into things that you have, and it lasts forever. So yeah, I mean, I really use my freezer that just on hand. And not feel like I have to go to the store for meat all the time, and then you're saving money buying direct from the farmer and just getting really good quality. So that's a really great way to do. You can order online too, that US Wellness Meats website. If you don't have like a local farmer that you can get to buy from, US Wellness Meats is really good quality meat that you could order from. There are other purveyors online too. Definitely look around. Just look for grass-fed and pasture-raised. That's really important. And then I put a lot of odds and ends in there, you know, like you saw my nuts and seeds. It's a great way to keep them so they don't go rancid. If you use like a jar or a can of something and only use like half of it, put the rest in a little Tupperware and stick it in the freezer so you're not being wasteful. You know, you don't always use like a whole can of tomato paste in a recipe and you've got like half a can left and it only lasts a few days in the fridge, so odds are you're not going to use it before it gets moldy. So pop it in the freezer and then just, you know, put a little label on it so you remember what the heck it is when you're like, what is this? And use it for a recipe down the road. So that's kind of all I got for you guys today. Just wanted to give you that little peek. If you have any questions real quick, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'll wrap this up and head out. But remember to follow me for more paleo tips, nutrition, recipes. I do all that fun stuff. So if you like food and health, I'm the one to follow. You're welcome, Lynette. Thanks for hopping on. Everyone have a great Sunday. Do some food prep so you're ready to go for the week ahead. You know, if you plan, then you are set up for success. So, all right, guys, it looks like you guys are good. So, awesome. Thanks for joining. Feel free to share this and make sure to follow me and leave some hearts. See you later. Bye.